What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Mini Jeep once again. It looks like the previous video did hit 20 likes and maybe more. That looks pretty insane. Now, I did say that when that video gets 20 likes, I'm going to be doing a follow-up, and that video has received quite a few comments. So today we're going to be taking a deeper look at the Mini Jeep. We're going to go over all sorts of specifications, the way it handles, the quality, the build, and how it feels, and whether it's worth your money. So let's dive into this video. It might be a long one, but hopefully you can get some good information. So here we go. Let's jump right in. So purchasing the Mini Jeep, of course, we got it from Amazon. It was $2,000, and at this moment, I think they're sold out, but they're normally $2,079. I'm pretty sure that's what they retail at. Here in Colorado, you add $200 for sales tax, and there's a $400 shipping fee. So in total, that comes out to about $2,600. Shipping time was about 2 to 3 weeks, give or take, depending on where you are. And assembly for the Mini Jeep took about half a day, but I would allow a whole day in case there were any issues when assembling. So neither shipping or assembly is a big deal to worry about at all. So another big question whenever you first get your Mini Jeep, you put it together and you start riding it, is the break-in period. Now, it's not a huge amount of information out there regarding that topic, but it specifically said don't go full throttle for the first 2 weeks. And then after that, you can drive it as hard as you want. Just, I don't know, it's your Jeep, you can destroy it. But yeah, the first 2 weeks is don't go flooring it. But that's basically your break-in period. So moving on to the engine, the motor can be accessed by a bolted-on panel that goes between the seats. Under the seat, we have a 123.7cc 4-stroke engine. It puts out 8 horsepower and 9.5 newton meters of torque, and overall it's pretty quiet. Fun fact, this comes off of one of the Honda motorcycles, so it is a performance motorcycle engine, and that means you should probably be running some ethanol-free gas in it. One thing to note is that the Mini Jeep is only 2-wheel drive. However, having a chain drive to a solid rear axle gives it much better performance when driving in mud, dirt, snow, and even drifting. Steering may seem strange, but that's a perfectly normal thing with a solid axle. The Jeep's basic features include large mirrors, very nice running boards, a pretty sturdy safety handle, I guess that's what it's called, a pretty good spare tire, a jerry can that rattles like crazy, 2-tone seats, only on the red model though, a black hood, nice big headlights, later I'll demonstrate, and some lovely 18-inch tires for all of your adventures. Looking at the dash, you have your choke for starting in cold weather, your steering wheel, and then your shifters. These make quite a lot of noise, and they're really loud. You also have your running lights and your headlights. On the right side of your steering wheel is your parking brake. You just push down to let go and pull it up to activate it. Just remember that the parking brake is actually connected to the foot brake. Here you have your horn, starter, and gear display. And let's not forget that Chinese speedometer. So starting the Jeep is pretty easy. You've got your 3-speed semi-automatic transmission. This is your key. It's an electric start, pulls right out. So you put your key in, turn once, and it shows your accessories. You turn again to start it up. It's very quiet. It impressed me a lot. It's not loud at all. And then up for reverse. Give it a little gas. First, that's second, that's third, and then back to first. Pretty easy. Neutral, parking brake, and off. Very easy to drive. So this is what the seating arrangement looks like on the Mini Jeep. As you can tell, they're not humongous seats by any means. However, you can have two adults ride beside each other and it works just fine. Some notes to take. This seat moves up and down, so it moves, that's the furthest up that it goes, so for smaller kids. And then I ride it pretty far back, like that. And then take into account that this seat does not go forward and backwards. So that's one little drawback, but it's not a huge problem. Both seats fold down to give you a little bit of room in the back, but I don't know why you'd fold down both, I guess for if you're storing it. Here's our back area. You've got your seat belts. We put a piece of cardboard down in here because when I'm off-roading, these things will rattle around a lot and it would make a lot of noise, so putting cardboard down made the rattle go away. Here I am about to take the mini Jeep out to track some speed and see the handling. Yeah, we were on an uphill slope, so I couldn't quite get the mini Jeep to its top speed. Quick turning radius test. So we barely touched the other side of the road, so pretty good turning radius. Will it drift? Guys, come on. It's not gonna drift. Why would I show you that the Jeep would... Yes, it's the problems section, the one that everybody hates. No, it's really not as bad as you might think. There are lots of little frustrations and complaints, but the things that are major issues, they're definitely not impossible to solve. So we're just gonna go over those pretty quick, and you'll be surprised at, I don't know, how few there are. So we're gonna look at those next. The first thing I would look at is the shifter would not downshift. So when you would try to downshift into lower gears, it would hit up on the dashboard. And so we figured out that the screw that holds it on from the bottom, there is a little twister sort of thing that you can twist it one direction and it pushes it out. It actually lowers the default position whenever you're not touching the shifter, so it sits lower. It actually helped out. So check this out. Another issue we had straight from the factory was the steering placement, like the placement of the wheels when your steering wheel was straight. We had to do some adjustments, but fortunately there's a little bar that you can twist to kind of correct the steering. But just keep in mind that you can never make the steering perfect on these go-karts or ATVs or whatever. You can't make it perfect, but we did our best. All right, we came up to the biggest issue with the Mini Jeep so far, and that is that I managed to break a brake line. Yes, I broke a brake line. Broke a brake line. That's right. I mean, it was hardly even 2 weeks old. I was driving down the hill and I stepped on the brake a little bit harder going down a hill, and it just blew it up. Sprayed brake fluid all over the place, made a big mess, so we took a long time trying to fix that. So what we did was we went on Amazon trying to find a brake line that worked, and it took a bit of time, but we eventually found one and put it back together. Not a humongous fix. Bleeding the brakes took a little while, but once that was done, the issue was pretty much solved. Another smaller issue, but still important, was the amount of bolts that had to be tightened on this thing. I mean, you look on the left, the right, the front, the back, the suspension, the seats, the windshield. There are so many bolts that have to be tightened, but once you tighten them, they're okay. We also had to adjust the carburetor a little bit with a flathead screwdriver. So if you turn the idle screw to the right, it'll raise your idle, and if you turn it to the left, it will lower your idle. You can also adjust the sensitivity of your brakes by turning this nut and then pushing the screw out and then tightening it. It's just a little way you can adjust your brakes. One of the last major problems on this list is we are doing a small modification to the intake on the engine. This is a 3 to 6 psi electric fuel pump. It attaches to the battery. You can tell we've mounted it here, but we haven't quite hooked it up to everything yet. So it's on there, but you can tell we're in the middle of it. So hopefully it'll give it a little bit more power whenever you press the gas, go full throttle with it. We're gonna see what happens. It should be a pretty nice little upgrade. And with the rest of the problems or issues on here being small complaints like the windshield and jerry can rattling, there really is not anything else other than that. So finally we are out of the problem section once and for all. Alright, so why should you buy the Mini Jeep? It is perfect if you just want something to have fun on. It's great if you want a lower cost but high quality vehicle. It's more than enough power if you weigh under 200 pounds. It's very open for modifications. And last but not least, it looks much more expensive than it really is. So summing up the video, the overall build quality was an 8 out of 10, so pretty good. The size of the Mini Jeep, it's a bit small for me, but it's fine. I would give that a 7 out of 10. The engine power would be 6 out of 10. It's really not the most powerful thing in the world. The top speed is 40 miles an hour, which is crazy. So I'd give that a 9 out of 10. And yeah, performance is an 8 out of 10 overall. So that's kind of my summary. So there you go. That's my review on the cheapest car you can buy from Amazon. Let me know in the comments if I've missed anything. I apologize that this was such a long video and probably boring at points, but I hope you got some good information. If you found this video enjoyable, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss out on my next video. As always, I will see you next time.